The second I saw Vanessa vault over the community pool gate in a glittering bikini, bolt cutters dangling from one hand and a bottle of Prosecco in the other, I knew our quiet little neighborhood in Willow Creek had spiraled into a whole new kind of chaos. This wasn't her first rebellion, far from it, but this time, she didn't bother with stealth. She strutted in like she owned the place, snapped the padlock in front of her entourage, and bellowed, "Welcome to paradise, my loves," as if she'd just freed a nation. I stood across the street, clutching my pool testing kit, watching 24 strangers flood the pool area with coolers, Bluetooth speakers, and trays of artisanal charcuterie. I wasn't just annoyed, I was floored. I'd warned the Homeowners Association. I told them she'd pull something again, but they dismissed it like it was just a quirky mix-up. There she was, twirling on the pool deck with a spritz in hand, while inflatable flamingos bobbed in the water like a neon invasion. And in that moment, a deliciously devious plan started brewing in my mind. It all began a month earlier when I moved into Willow Creek, a gated enclave in upstate New York that promised serenity, order, and shared perks like a sleek pool and a bocce court. I'm a civil engineer by trade, and the pool hooked me more than I expected. The pumps, the pH balance, the intricate dance of chemicals keeping it pristine. It was a marvel of precision behind a wrought iron fence. So when the HOA called for volunteers to maintain it, I signed up faster than you can say chlorine. I got a key, a weekly routine to check the systems, and a chance to bond with neighbors who, for the most part, play by the rules. Book the space, sign the form, lock the gate. Simple. Except for Vanessa. She lived 4 houses down in a mint green bungalow with a gaudy cherub fountain that never worked. Her SUV sported a sticker that read, "I don't dial 911, I demand a manager." You couldn't miss her. She wore floppy hats at dusk, yelled into her phone during yoga in the community garden, and treated rules like cocktail napkins. Disposable. Her specialty? Unsanctioned pool bashes she called wellness retreats, but they were just boozy gatherings with uninvited guests, leaving behind a trail of sequins and spilled Merlot. The first time I caught her, I tried to be nice. Maybe she didn't know the rules. I walked over, explained the reservation system, and offered to help her book next time. She sized me up, sipped a rose, and purred, "Relax, hon, we're just splashing around." Then she cackled like she'd cracked the code to the universe. I reported it to the HOA. They sent a generic "thanks for your input" email. The second time, she cut the lock and replaced it with her own. When I showed up for my Sunday chemical check, I had to scale the fence and face a crowd of tipsy strangers who acted like I was the intruder. Vanessa just smirked. "It's just water, pool boy. Chill." I sent photos, timestamps, everything to the HOA. Another thank you email. No action. That brings us to that fateful Saturday in August 2024, the day I snapped. Vanessa didn't even pretend to hide it this time. She cranked reggaeton so loud it rattled windows, flung open the gate like it was her personal nightclub, and started pouring Prosecco into mason jars before her guests could unzip their beach bags. I stood across the street, testing kit in hand, jaw tight. She crossed a line not just for me, but for every neighbor who followed the rules and got shut out because of her antics. I marched over, one last attempt at reason. "Vanessa, you didn't reserve this. You're breaking HOA property. This isn't okay." She looked at me like I was a yapping chihuahua. "Oh, Ethan, don't be so extra. It's just a pool. Nobody owns water." She waved off the padlock she'd cut. "I'll get a shinier one. They'll thank me." Before I could respond, one of her cronies snapped my photo and muttered, "Is this the nosy guy you told us about?" That's when I knew words were useless. Vanessa had spun herself as the hero, and I was the villain. I needed something bigger, something brilliant, something slimy. That night in my garage, I stared at a jug of water-soluble polymer goo I'd whipped up for a science fair months ago. It was non-toxic, biodegradable, and invisible in water until heat and motion triggered it, clinging to fabrics and blooming into vivid greens or purples based on pH and time. I made it to teach kids about molecular bonds, but now it had a grander destiny. I tweaked the formula to delayed activation, denser texture, just enough pigment for a spectacular reveal. I was turning the pool into a chemistry experiment, and Vanessa was the guinea pig. I knew her routine. Saturday noon, like clockwork. Friday night, I snuck to the pool after hours, disabled the chlorine for safety, and poured my mix. I wore gloves, checked the water temp, made sure it wouldn't damage the pool or stick to Skinja's clothes. The colors would take 10 minutes to emerge. Perfect. Saturday morning, I rigged a fake lock to keep up appearances and waited. By 12:15, Vanessa's voice pierced the air. "Snip it, Tara. We don't wait for red tape." Her crew poured in, drinks clinking, music thumping. From my upstairs window, I watched. First, subtle confusion guests tugging at their swimsuits, frowning. Then, the magic, bright green and purple patches erupting across bikinis, cover-ups, board shorts. Vanessa glanced down, saw her pristine white caftan morph into a tie-dye disaster, and shrieked like she'd been stung. I sipped my coffee as pandemonium unfolded. Phones came out. Someone yelled about a chemical attack. A woman chucked her tote into the hot tub, desperate to escape the goo. Vanessa flailed, blaming the sky for raining dye. I didn't need a lift. A fingered internet would handle the rest. But this wasn't just about slime. It was about respect, about being ignored, about every neighbor who lost their pool time because Vanessa wanted to play queen. It was justice, delivered in gooey Technicolor. And I wasn't done. I knew Vanessa would spin this, so I'd recorded everything: her cutting the lock, the party, the meltdown. By Sunday, the HOA group chat exploded. Vanessa posted a novel-length tirade about a chemical terrorist targeting her. She demanded an investigation, claiming she'd been assaulted with unknown substances. I nearly choked laughing. The HOA president, Martin, a guy who treated his role like he was guarding Fort Knox, shut the pool for a probe. I volunteered to clean it, and Martin met me at the gate, exasperated. "Ethan, what the hell happened?" I showed him the footage, explained the slime's safe, temporary, fabric only. He chuckled. Not exactly protocol, but she had it coming. We drained the water, scrubbed the tiles, and reset the chemicals. The pool sparkled again. Vanessa, predictably, escalated. She filed a complaint accusing me of chemical warfare and emotional torture, attaching photos of her friend's ruined swimsuit like it was CSI evidence. At the HOA meeting, she sat with a binder thick enough to stop a bullet, glaring like I'd burned her house down. I handed Martin a USB with my evidence. Videos, chemical specs, even a sample of the slime. Vanessa recoiled like it was plutonium. The board watched the footage: her lock cutting, her mockery, her guests' gooey panic. They laughed. Martin asked if she'd booked the pool. She stammered about a glitch and a friend who used to be on the board. Martin shut her down. "Your friend quit last year. The system's fine." The board suspended her pool access for 3 months. She stormed out, vowing revenge. The neighborhood exhaled. The pool stayed calm, kids splashed, and nobody cut locks. But Vanessa didn't quit. She went silent, then resurfaced with glossy flyers calling me a pool tyrant, complete with a cartoon of me as a mad scientist. She planned a peaceful protest by the pool, complete with lemonade and a megaphone. On protest day, she chained the gate with a non-HOA lock and hung a banner, "Closed by community demand." Martin called the sheriff. A deputy snipped the chain, and Vanessa's rally fizzled as her friends slunk away, leaving her alone with her megaphone blaring Celine Dion. The HOA fined her $500 and warned her one more stunt, and she'd lose all privileges for a year. She tried one last pool party, unapproved, calling it a healing event. The board posted security. When Vanessa arrived, she found the gate locked and officers waiting. She backed off, muttering about fear of unity. The neighborhood turned on her. Signs sprouted up: "Respect the rules." Teens dubbed her Slime Empress. A survey I helped launch exposed years of her bullying, yelling at kids, harassing seniors, even stealing a neighbor's hose. The HOA tightened enforcement, and Vanessa's name topped the violation list. She was one strike from a year-long ban. Weeks later, as I cleaned the pool filters, she passed by with her dog. "Ever feel bad about it?" she asked. "No," I said. "It made people listen." "You didn't." She nodded, not sorry, but admitting defeat. The summer ended with laughter, clean water, in a community that finally said enough. But I knew Vanessa. She'd try again, and we'd be ready. What do you think? Did Ethan go too far with the slime? Or was it the perfect wake-up call? Should the HOA have cracked down on Vanessa sooner? Or did they handle it right by letting it play out? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're Team Slime, and subscribe for more wild neighborhood sagas.